Hello kids, and welcome to Notebook. Today we will start a new chapter which is about squares. Did it ever occur to you that squares can be useful in many ways? I am sure not. And this is why you must watch this video very carefully and try to understand things as best as you can. Look, who is that? That is a bright boy called Ketan. Ketan is a philatelist. Well, that is a word for someone who loves collecting stamps. Do you know someone around you who is like that?
Ketan loves to read books too. One day in school, Ketan's friend asks for a storybook from Ketan. Ketan knew that his friend has 5 stamps which were missing from his collection. So, Ketan struck this deal with his friend. He said he would happily lend his book if his friend gave him the 5 stamps in exchange. On the next day, Ketan's friend gives Ketan 5 stamps. Each stamp is of a different shape and quite unique. Ketan is very excited to get the stamps. He goes back home and shows it to his mother.
Ketan's mother promises to give Ketan a brand new stamp book. That makes him even more happy.
Ketan sticks the stamps in his stamp book. His new stamp book is filled with squares. Ketan measures the size of each square and finds it to be 1 centimeter each. This stamp A is rectangular in shape. How many squares of 1 centimeter does this stamp cover? That was a rather easy question. The stamp covers 12 squares. The stamp B is also rectangular in shape. How many squares of 1 centimeter does this stamp cover? 12 squares.
Ketan's mother explains that both the rectangles have equal number of squares, but they are of a different shape. The size of each square is also the same. So the area covered by these 2 stamps is also the same.
Ketan stakes the other 3 stamps. Now there are a total of 5 stamps: A, B, C, D and E. Can you tell which of the stamps has the largest area? Here's a hint. You can use the number of squares that each stamp covers to answer this question. So, the stamp that covers the greatest number of squares has the largest area. From the figure, it's quite clear that the answer is D, as it covers 18 squares of 1 centimeter each, much more than any other stamp shown here. So, we can say that stamp D has an area equal to 18 square centimeter. What about the smallest stamp? Yes, the smallest stamp is E, as it covers only 4 squares. And just like we did in the case of the biggest square, in this case, the area covered by the stamp E is 4 square centimeter. So, can you quickly tell the difference between the area of the biggest and the smallest stamps?
Okay, so did you realize that the squares of 1 centimeter size helped us calculate the area of the stamps? That's so nice. You can try this thing with other small rectangular objects like eraser, sharpener, etc. Now, let's play a guessing game. You would need a square paper to answer these questions. Go get one.
Which has a bigger area, your footprint or a page of your textbook? Yes, it's the page. Which one of these would have a smaller area? 2 5 rupee notes put side by side or 1 100 rupee note? Yes, it is the 2 5 rupee notes. Look at this image here. Can you tell if the area of a blue square is more than that of this yellow triangle, or is it the other way around? Well, both the shapes have the same area. The reason is that when we divide the blue square in halves, it is the same as when 2 triangles are kept side by side, just like the yellow triangles. Is the perimeter of the blue square more than the perimeter of the yellow triangle? But what do we mean by perimeter? Well, length of the boundary of a shape is called its perimeter. Here, both the figures have different shapes but have the same areas. However, the perimeters or the length covered by their borders are different. The perimeter or length covered by the yellow triangle is more than that of the length covered by the square.
So children, we saw the importance of counting squares while measuring areas and perimeter of a figure. We hope you enjoyed learning about utility of squares with Ketan and his wonderful hobby. Keep finding areas of different objects using square paper and share your findings with your friends. See you soon with more interesting things about squares in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.